Hello, welcome back. I thank you, as always, for joining me. Let's have a conversation today about something that we all find perplexing. I mean, really, we find it troublesome, perplexing, an obstacle. And even if you don't now, think back to the time when you first began to study this material, and you'll see that we've all had these moments of attempting to understand the Course, to understand miracles, and the way this whole thing operates with the intellectual, rational thinking mind. Hmm. We've talked about this before, but let's address it from a very practical standpoint today. It's odd because we're so conditioned in the world to bow down to the greater mind, the higher mind, the intellectual, supposedly rational. We call it rational. Yeah, no. Supposedly rational thinking mind that we use to navigate life. We're all deeply inculcated and indoctrinated in certain values, in our parents' values, in our society's values, in all kinds of thou shalt and thou shalt notnesses, rules, regulations, norms of behavior, stuff like that. From an early age, there's nothing that we can do about this. And here we are in adulthood, discovering that it's not working for us. Yeah, right. It's what has us all interested in spirituality in the first place. And you, in particular, are interested in A Course in Miracles. So, welcome. There's a reason why. And it really stems from this because we discover at some point that the way we've been trained to approach life isn't bringing us what we really want. It's not. What we all really want, and we know deep down that we want this, is the peace of God. Just that. In fact, that's the only thing we actually could ever really want because it's all there is. So, yeah, we want that. Yet we train ourselves and condition ourselves to want other things in life. We want social status and prestige. We want financial comfort. We want wealth. We want nice things. We want a beautiful dinner, a great bottle of Left Bank Bordeaux. Yeah, maybe a nice Margot Hoyak. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. I'm just saying, we are trained and conditioned to want certain things. And we're trained and conditioned to value intellectual understanding almost above all else sometimes. Now, the pixelated image that you see on the screen is a case in point of this. Perhaps you can relate. There are many of us that can. I have a doctorate degree. I'm not sorry that I have a doctorate degree because it's opened up one door after another in this lifetime in sometimes rapid, quick succession. So it is what it is. Here's the deal, though, and something that we all run into as course students. There's only so far you can go with the intellect. In fact, you can obscure truth completely with it. You can get so in your head, as we say, here in the world, you can get so caught up in attempting to understand truth with the rational, intellectual thinking mind that you lose sight of it completely and continue to spin. Can you relate? We all can relate, really, if we're honest with ourselves, which of course I invite, right? We're all invited to bring this honesty to the party, for sure. Yeah. So here's the deal with the intellect. It is reductive. Think about it. We have a tendency in the world to wish to fragment, to slice up experience into component parts. And in those apparently separate component parts, we have a pronounced and further tendency to continue to divide and categorize and subcategorize and divide and subdivide on and on and on until we find ourselves deeply confused by what appears to be a myriad of stuff, what appear to be millions and millions of parts, billions, trillions of individual, separate component parts. We've so fragmented our experience that we become quite lost, dazed and confused, frustrated, sad, enraged. The intellectual thinking mind has its value, for sure. Yet it's reductive, it's incisive, and it slices and cuts. Enter A Course in Miracles. Truth can't be sliced. It cannot be cut, and it cannot be understood with the intellectual thinking mind. Um, Here we run into a quandary, and this quandary may last a long, long time. Attempting to understand truth with the reductive thinking mind. Frustrating and ultimately not possible. So we're invited to take a step back from that endless pursuit. It gets in our own way. The ideas that we should understand from this course are extremely simple. There's no mystery at all to them. There's no complexity at all to them. God is two syllables. Only God is. God is the only reality. Ideas leave not their source. You're an idea. You might think, no, no, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm this, I'm my political affiliation, I'm my job, I'm my gender, my age, my height, weights, my preference for left bank or right bank Bordeaux. God, I keep coming back to that. Hmm. Hmm. Things like that, right? We're this, we're that, the other. No, none of that. And we get in our own way. When spiritual traditions, and a lot of them talk about getting in our own way, when they talk about this, this is what we're referring to. Reality is simple. What do we do here? What are we invited to do? Let it be just as it is. Get out of our own way and allow truth to be just as it is, except that we don't understand how all of this works. Miracles, for example, chapter 16, section 2 of the text, we can accept that we don't get it, but the Holy Spirit gets it, and we can step aside and relax and trust his guidance. We don't have to know how it all works out throughout space and time. We can't know that by ourselves. with this limited intellect. Yeah, we can't know. So we step aside and let our inner teacher show us. We let experience teach us. That's how we learn. Is things that can't be known with the intellectual thinking mind can be directly experienced. Spirituality is all about experience. That's why this course is so effective if you let it be. It's a self-study curriculum that emphasizes practical application. That's very powerful when you think about it. See, the truth is that while you may not appear to get any of this at all, you do get it. A part of you does get it because miracles have been done through you. Oh, yeah, they have. Miracles have been done through you. So, on some level, somewhere, which is just a manner of speaking, you do get it. A part of you does get it. Yeah, it's true. That's why you're here paying attention to this conversation. I absolutely cannot emphasize that enough. The magnitude of your being here watching this video right now and allowing the Holy Spirit to speak to you. Huge, huge, and beyond huge. I mean, it's bigger than words, so far beyond them, and so important. Of course, we tend to take that for granted as we do so many things in life. It's not for a lot of us, maybe for you, it's not an easy task to give up our need to understand in terms that we've invented here in the world. There is no world. Central teaching of A Course in Miracles. Can't hear that enough. You have to believe it. It doesn't make any difference if you don't, to be perfectly honest. Part of you knows that, though. It's why we're all here. I mean, it really, really, truly is. As a practical matter, that cannot be emphasized frequently enough, which is why it always appears to come out of my mouth. I mean, it really does. It's kind of funny when you think about it. It's nearly every video. I mean, really, nearly every single one. So we're invited to step aside and let our inner teacher, let the Holy Spirit go to town, do his thing, do its thing, run the show. We don't need to understand how everything works. We just need to understand that we have the opportunity right now to step back and let our inner teacher take control, to get out of our own way and to choose forgiveness. Again, choose forgiveness. Choose to extend love to our brother. Choose to extend love. As many times as we need to remember to do it, do it. We don't have to understand these principles. They're quite basic. We mentioned the first one a few minutes ago. God is. There is only perfect oneness. God is the only reality. The only reality. There is only perfect oneness. Ideas, you. Leave not your source. Thought of God. Source capital S, yeah. Mm? Thoughts remain in the mind of the thinker. Where are you? Exactly. It's where we all are. There's only oneness after all, not multiplicity. That is illusion. Now, it can be very, very difficult for us to let go of that, but it's our choice to. Again, spirituality is an adult endeavor requiring our deep honesty with ourselves. So, to the extent that you're ready to go there with yourself, excellent. We allow ourselves to be led by our inner teacher as far as we're willing to go on a given day. Then we get up tomorrow and we allow ourselves to be led as far as we're willing to walk along the path on that day, and the next day, and the day after that, after that, after that, onward and onward until such time as we awaken. When will that be? I don't really know, but it might be real soon. We don't actually know. Who knows when enlightenment will come? Perhaps today. So, what I used to find really, really helpful in my own practice of the course is when I would wrestle with this need to attempt to understand everything. And I used it from the framework of sequential linear time. When did the separation occur? How did that even happen? How did we decide to leave the party and leave God and go off and go to our own bar? Go to our own soiree with, cool cocktails and nice swanky dresses, fabulous decor, and some hors d'oeuvres or something. How do we do that? Well, we didn't. The separation never took place. You may be hearing a conversation in the next room, a loud conversation in the next room, which is kind of funny. It's very, very interesting to live in a house with tile floors that reflect sound as it wraps around the building. So we'll see how Zoom's noise cancellation really functions. It's very interesting. If you're curious what's going on behind me, my wife Cindy is having a conversation with a longtime friend who's, in fact, hard of hearing. Hence the noise level. So there you go. Now, let's just wrap this discussion up with one of the central messages for all spirituality, which is relax and trust. Relax and trust the guidance of your inner teacher, who will guide you lovingly, patiently, kindly. Let the Holy Spirit run the show. Thank you. So, as we go forward, questions are inevitable. It's spirituality, after all, it's deep self inquiry. So, of course, there are going to be questions along the path. You're more than welcome to ask them here. This is a very, very good forum for that, the discussion thread here in YouTube. So feel welcome to leave questions if you've got them. And if you have not yet subscribed, I'd love to have you join us. Please go ahead and subscribe here. This is the prompt in the corner of your screen. Click that, join us, and we'll see you soon. Several videos appear each week because, well, spirituality is ongoing. There's always something to talk about. So I thank you for joining me.